States and from other parts of the world in order to establish a totally racist government in the occupied Palestine. And in fact, in compensation for the dire consequences of racism in Europe, okay, please, thank you. And in fact, in compensation for the dire consequences of racism in Europe, they helped bring to power the most cruel and repressive racist regime in Palestine. The Security Council helped stabilize this occupation regime and supported it in the past 60 years, giving them a free hand to continue their crimes. It is all the more regrettable that a number of Western governments and the United States have committed themselves to defend those racist perpetrators of genocide, whilst the awakened conscience and free-minded people of the world condemn aggressions, brutalities, and bombardments of civilians in Gaza. They have always been supportive or silent against their crimes. And before that, they have always been silent with regard to their crimes. Distinguished delegates, ladies and gentlemen, what are the root causes of U.S. attacks against Iraq or invasion of Afghanistan? What are the root causes of U.S. attacks against Iraq or invasion of Afghanistan? Was the motive behind the invasion of Iraq anything other than the arrogance of the then U.S. administration and the mounting pressures on the part of the owner of wealth and power to expand their sphere of influence, seeking the interest of giant arms manufacturing companies affecting a noble culture with thousands of years of historical background, eliminating potential and practical threats of Muslim countries against the usurper Zionist regime, or to control and plunder energy resources of the Iraqi people. Why indeed almost 1 million people were killed and injured, and a few more millions were displaced and became homeless. Why indeed the Iraqi people have suffered enormous losses amounting to hundreds of billions of dollars, and why was hundreds of billions of dollars imposed on the American people and its allies as a result of these military actions? Wasn't the military action against Iraq planned by the Zionists and their allies in the then U.S. administration in complicity with the arms manufacturing companies and the owner of the wealth? Did invasion of Afghanistan restore peace, security, and economic well-being in this country? The United States Did the invasion of Afghanistan restore peace, security, and economic well-being in this country? The United States and its allies not only have failed to contain the production of drugs in Afghanistan, but also the illicit cultivation of narcotics multiplied in the course of their presence. The basic question is that what was the responsibility and job of the then US administration and its allies? Did they represent countries of the world? Have they been mandated by them? Have they been authorized on behalf of the people of the world to interfere in all parts of the globe, and of course, mostly in our region? Aren't these measures a clear example of egocentrism, racism, discrimination, or infringement upon the dignity and independence of nations? Ladies and gentlemen, who are responsible for the current global economic crisis? Where did the crisis start from? From Africa? From Asia? Or was that first from the United States, then spread into Europe and to their allies? For a long time, they imposed inequitable economic regulations by their political power on the international economy. They imposed a financial and a monetary system without a proper international oversight mechanisms on nations and governments that played no role in the repressive trends or policies. They have not even allowed their people to oversee or monitor their financial policies. They introduce all laws and regulations in defiance to all moral values, only to protect the interests of the owners of wealth and powers. They further presented a definition for market economy and competition that denied many of the economic opportunities that could be available to other countries of the world. They even transferred their problems to others, whilst the wave of crisis lashed back, plaguing their economies with thousands of billions of dollars in budget deficit. And today, they are injecting hundreds of billions of cash from the pockets of their own people into the failing banks, companies, and financial institutions, making the situation more and more complicated for their economy and their people. They are simply thinking about maintaining power and wealth. They couldn't care any less about the people of the world and even about their own people. Mr. President, ladies and gentlemen, racism is rooted in the lack of knowledge concerning the truth of human existence as the selected creature of God. It is also the product of his deviation from the true path of human life and the obligations of mankind in the world of creation, failing to consciously worship God, not being able to think about the philosophy of life or the path to perfection that are the main ingredients of divine and humanitarian values, have restricted the horizon of human outlook, making transient and limited interest a yardstick for his actions. That is why the cells of devil's power took shape and expanded its realm of power by depriving others from enjoying equitable